Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're here to sift through fascinating material, find those key insights really tailor-made just for you. Today, we're stepping into a story. It feels like getting up super early, dawn, and seeing the sunrise when everyone else is still asleep. That kind of feeling, you know?
Yeah.
Profound, maybe a bit quiet. That's what we're chasing as we unpack, well, one of the most beloved books out there.
Yeah, absolutely. Our source material for this deep dive is Paulo Coelho's novel, The Alchemist, a huge global phenomenon. And we're going to follow the journey of Santiago, a young shepherd boy. But it's not just about the plot. We really want to unravel the core ideas, the universal truths that are sort of woven into his story.
And what's really interesting is how the story kind of echoes Coelho's own life, isn't it? He's talked about his own struggles trying to become a writer, people telling him, oh, that's impossible, you can't follow that dream.
Exactly. And yet, The Alchemist, translated into 56 languages, sold millions and millions. It's reached everyone from President Clinton to Julia Roberts. It's quite amazing. And when people ask him, what's the secret? His only honest response, as he puts it, is that he doesn't know. Just that we all need to be aware of our personal calling.
A personal calling.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess that's our mission today then, to explore what that really means, this personal calling or personal legend, as the book calls it.
That's it. And we'll look at the 4 big obstacles Coelho says everyone faces when they try to follow it, plus all the surprising moments, the revelations Santiago finds on his path.
All right, let's dive in. Santiago. We start in Andalusia, Spain. He's a young shepherd, loves his life, wandering the fields.
And he has this really special connection with his sheep. He knows their names, talks to them, even reads to them from his books.
Reads to his sheep. I love that detail. It shows his character. It is a praised choice for him, right? Because his parents, they wanted him to be a priest.
That's right, a stable life. But at 16, he chooses shepherding. Why? Because he wants to know the world. That desire for experience is already there.
So even in this simple life, something starts bubbling up. This dream.
Yes, a recurring dream. He has it twice. A child appears, plays with his sheep, and then whisks him away.
To the Egyptian pyramids.
Exactly, and tells him there's a hidden treasure there. He's, naturally a bit skeptical, maybe a little scared.
Understandable. So he goes to see someone about it.
He does. He visits a Romani woman, a gypsy, in Tarifa to get the dream interpreted.
What does she say?
Pretty straightforward, actually. She says, yep, the dream means what it says. Go to the pyramids, find treasure. But she wants a cut, 1/10 if he finds it.
Oh, okay. A bit of pragmatism there.
Indeed. But she also says something crucial, really sets the stage. Dreams are the language of God.
Dreams are the language of God. That's a big statement early on. Makes you think, okay, how do we listen to our own dreams?
Yeah, precisely. And right after this, he has another significant encounter. An old man in the town square. A bit mysterious. Santiago feels like the old man knew what I was thinking.
Creepy. Or insightful.
Insightful, it turns out. He reveals himself as Melchizedek, the king of
The
Salem.
king of Salem. Okay. And he brings up this idea, the world's greatest lie.
Yes. And he defines it. It's the belief that at a certain point in our lives, we lose control of what's happening to us, and our lives become controlled by fate.
Wow. So the idea that we just become passive passengers in our own lives. That's the lie.
Exactly. It's a direct challenge to that kind of thinking. And then the king explains what a personal legend is.
Right. The term Coelho uses.
It's what you have always wanted to accomplish. Simple, but profound. He says everyone knows it when they're young.
A den.
But then this mysterious force, as he calls it, starts convincing us it's impossible to actually achieve it.
That concept, the personal legend, it really sticks with you. It feels deeper than just a goal, like an innate purpose maybe.
Yeah, I think so. And then Melchizedek drops probably the most famous line from the book.
Ah, the universe conspiring one.
That's the one. When you want something, all the universe conspires in helping you to achieve it.
Okay, but does that mean it suddenly gets easy? Because Santiago's journey definitely doesn't seem easy later on. What does conspire really mean here?
That's a great question. It's not about making it effortless. I think it's more about alignment. The universe lines things up, brings people or signs into your path. Sometimes challenges are the help, strangely enough. They teach you something crucial.
Okay, so it's not a magic carpet ride.
Definitely not. The king even tells a story about a baker. The baker always dreamed of traveling, right? But he bought a bakery instead, thinking, I'll travel later. But he never did. He settled. His dream was still there, but he stopped pursuing it.
A cautionary tale. So the universe conspires, but you still have to act. You have to keep moving.
Precisely. And to help Santiago, the king gives him something tangible, 2 stones.
Urim and Thummim.
Yes. Black for no, white for yes. Jewels to help him read omens when he's lost or unsure.
Are these meant to be literal magic stones, do you think? Or more symbolic, like symbols for intuition, maybe?
I lean towards symbolic. They represent listening to that deeper knowing, paying attention to the signs, the language without words the book talks about later. Using your intuition.
Okay. And the king also mentions beginner's luck.
Yeah, the principle of favorability. That initial bit of success the universe gives you. It's like an encouragement, a little taste to say, yes, you're on the right track, keep going.
Like a little cosmic nudge at the start.
Exactly. And one last story from the king before Santiago leaves. The oil and the spoon.
Oh, I remember this one. Tell us.
A young man is sent to the wisest man in the world to learn the secret of happiness. The wise man gives him a spoon with 2 drops of oil. He says, walk around my palace, see all its wonders, but don't spill the oil.
Okay. Tricky.
So the boy walks around, totally focused on the spoon, the oil. He doesn't spill it, but he sees nothing of the palace. The wise man sends him back. Now go see the marvels. This time the boy looks around, amazed by everything.
It spills the oil.
He spills the oil, the lesson. The secret of happiness is to see all the marvels of the world and never to forget the drops of oil on the spoon.
Balance.
Yeah.
Pursue your big dreams, see the world's wonders, but don't neglect your immediate responsibilities, the oil you're carrying right now.
That's it precisely. It's about being present to both the grand vision and the details of the journey. A really practical piece of wisdom.
It really is. So, armed with these stories, the stones and his savings from selling his sheep, Santiago heads off.
Yes, he takes a ship to Tangier in Africa. And this is where the journey, the real test, begins.
Right, because things don't exactly go smoothly once he lands in Africa, do they?
Not at all. It's a huge culture shock right away. And then, almost immediately, disaster strikes.
His money gets stolen.
All of it. By someone he trusted, someone who seemed friendly. It's devastating for him.
I can imagine. He feels totally betrayed, thinking God was unfair, wanting to just give up and become bitter.
It's a real low point, a crucial test. Does he turn back? Does he let this defeat him? This is where that first obstacle Coelho mentioned really hits hard the belief that dreams are impossible, especially after a setback.
Then he doesn't go back.
No. Instead, he makes a decision. He finds a crystal merchant and decides to work for him just to earn enough money to buy some new sheep and maybe go home.
And this crystal merchant, he's a fascinating character himself, isn't he? He has his own dream.
He does, a lifelong dream to make the pilgrimage to Mecca, the Hajj. But he's never done it, and his reason is quite profound in a sad way. He says, if my dream is realized, I'll have no reason to go on living. He's afraid of achieving it.
Wow. So he holds on to the idea of the dream rather than the reality. Fear the emptiness after. That's a different kind of obstacle.
It really is, a fear of success almost. And Santiago, meanwhile, starts working. He brings his shepherd's ingenuity, his fresh perspective. He suggests building a display case outside, selling tea and the crystal glasses to attract customers.
And it works. The shop starts doing really well.
It does. It flourishes. And the merchant sees it, but he's still reluctant to change too much. He even says, every blessing ignored becomes a curse. He recognizes it, but struggles to embrace it.
Interesting. And through all this, working in this foreign land, communicating without maybe knowing the language perfectly, Santiago learns something important.
Yes. He starts understanding this universal language, the one that doesn't depend on words. He'd sensed it with his sheep, but now he sees it in people, in the market. He starts to feel he can understand people's desires, their personal legends, just by observing. He gets the sense that all things are one.
It's a sense of interconnectedness.
Exactly. And he learns the Arabic word maktub.
It is written.
It is written. Which seems almost contradictory, doesn't it? If it's all written, why bother striving for a personal legend?
Yeah, I was wondering about that. How do those two ideas fit together? Destiny versus active pursuit.
It's a key tension. I think maktub here isn't about fatalism, like sit back and do nothing. It's more like there's divine script, a flow to the universe, and your personal legend is part of that script. By actively pursuing your dream, by listening to the omens in your heart, you're actually aligning yourself with what's written. You're playing your essential part.
Okay, so it's not passive acceptance, it's active participation in a larger design. That makes more sense.
I think so. So Santiago works for the merchant for almost a year, saves up a lot of money, much more than he needed just for sheep.
And he decides not to go back to being a shepherd.
No. The dream of the treasure is still alive, He decides to continue his journey towards the pyramids. He joins a caravan heading across the Sahara Desert.
And on this caravan, he meets another important character.
Yes, an Englishman. Quite bookish, very different from Santiago. And he's on his own quest.
He's looking for
An alchemist. He's obsessed with alchemy, wants to learn the secret of turning lead into gold, find the philosopher's stone.
So two seekers, looking for different things, but both on a quest.
Right, and the Englishman, through his books, knows about the universal language, too. He talks about it being written in luck and coincidence. He also introduces Santiago to another huge concept, the soul of the world.
The soul of the world. What's that exactly?
It's described as this positive force, the spiritual essence that connects everything and governs all things. It wants us to achieve our personal legends. It's the force that purifies things, helps things evolve towards their highest purpose.
So if the universe conspires, it's the soul of the world doing the conspiring.
Kind of, yeah. It's the medium through which that conspiracy works. Connecting with it requires intuition, observation, living in the present.
Living in the present. That comes up again, doesn't it? With the camel driver.
Absolutely. The camel driver on the caravan offers some really profound, simple wisdom. He tells Santiago, basically, don't dwell on the past or worry about the future. I'm interested only in the present. If you can concentrate always on the present, you'll be a happy man. In the harshness of the desert, that focus is survival, but it's also a spiritual practice.
Powerful stuff. Okay, so the caravan journey continues across the desert.
And eventually they reach a huge oasis called Al-Fayoum. It's like a small city in the middle of nowhere, declared neutral ground in the tribal wars raging in the desert around them.
A safe haven. And it's here, at the oasis well, that Santiago has another life-changing encounter.
Yes, he meets Fatima.
Fatima. And it's described as, well, like love at first sight, but deeper, isn't it?
It really is. Coelho writes that in that moment, Santiago understands the pure language of the world, the language of love that needs no words. He feels instantly that she's the person the universe had waiting for him.
And he tells her he loves her, right then and there.
He does. And her response is just beautiful in its simplicity. One is loved because one is loved. No reason is needed for loving.
Wow. But Fatima is also described as a woman of the desert. What does that signify?
It means she understands the ways of the desert, the cycles of life, the necessity for men to leave, to follow their paths, and hopefully return. She doesn't try to hold him back from his quest. She actually encourages him. She says, if I'm really a part of your dream, you'll come back one day.
That introduces the second obstacle Coelho talks about, doesn't it? Love. The fear that pursuing a dream means losing love.
Exactly. And Fatima embodies Coelho's answer to that. True love doesn't hinder your personal legend, it becomes part of it. It understands and supports the journey.
So Santiago is at the oasis, he's found love, but his quest isn't over. And then he meets the title character.
The alchemist himself, a mysterious, powerful figure riding through the oasis. He recognizes Santiago as the one he's been waiting for.
And the alchemist sort of pushes him, right? Presents him with a choice.
A very stark choice. Stay at the oasis with Fatima, settle down, have a comfortable life, or risk it all, leave her, and continue pursuing the treasure, his personal legend.
And he warns him about the consequences of staying, doesn't he?
Vividly. He describes how Santiago would be happy for a while, but eventually the omens would start, his connection to the soul of the world would fade, and regret would consume him. He delivers another key line. Love never keeps a man from pursuing his personal legend. If he abandons that pursuit, it's because it wasn't true love.
That's quite a statement. So it really challenges the idea that we sometimes have to sacrifice our dreams for relationships.
It does. The alchemist insists that true love fuels the journey, it doesn't prevent it. And he emphasizes learning through doing. He tells Santiago, there is only one way to learn, through action. Everything you need to know you have learned through your journey.
So the journey is the learning.
Precisely. And the alchemist's next task for Santiago is crucial. Listen to your heart.
Even when the heart is afraid. Because Santiago's heart is afraid. Afraid of leaving Fatima, afraid of failing.
Yes, especially then. The alchemist advises him to acknowledge the fear, understand it. He says, tell your heart that the fear of suffering is worse than the suffering itself. And crucially, no heart has ever suffered when it goes in search of its dreams, because every second of the search is a second's encounter with God and with eternity.
That's incredibly powerful. Facing the fear within the heart, that tackles the third obstacle, fear the suffering involved in the quest.
Exactly. And then the alchemist warns him about the final test. Just before you reach your goal, he says, before a dream is realized, the soul of the world tests everything that was learned along the way. This is the toughest part.
The point where most people give up.
That's what he says. It's like dying of thirst just when the palm trees have appeared on the horizon. That final, almost cruel test of commitment right before the finish line.
Wow. Okay. And Santiago faces this test quite dramatically soon after, doesn't he?
He certainly does. He and the alchemist leave the oasis together, heading towards the pyramids, but they get captured by warring tribesmen. Not good at all. And the alchemist, seemingly putting Santiago in immense danger, makes a bold claim to the tribal chief. He says Santiago is a powerful alchemist who can turn himself into the wind, and he'll prove it in 3 days.
He says what? That sounds completely insane. And suicidal for Santiago.
It does. Santiago is terrified, obviously. But the alchemist offers more wisdom here. He says, when you possess great treasures within you and try to tell others of them, seldom are you believed. And then, hitting on the fourth and final obstacle, there is only one thing that makes a dream impossible to achieve: the fear of failure.
The fear of failure. That fourth obstacle. It paralyzes so many people, doesn't it? How does that show up for most of us, do you think? Not being asked to turn into the wind, hopefully.
Hopefully not. But it shows up as procrastination, right? As playing small, not taking risks, not even starting because you're afraid you'll mess up or look foolish. It's that inner voice saying, what if it doesn't work?
Yeah, definitely. So Santiago has 3 days to figure out how to become the wind, or they'll likely be killed. What does he do?
Oh, he despairs at first, but then he remembers everything he learned. He goes out into the desert and begins to converse. He speaks to the desert, then to the wind, then to the sun, using the language of the world, asking for their help.
He talks to the elements.
Yes. He explains his love for Fatima, his connection to the soul of the world. He tells the sun that love is the force that transforms and improves the soul of the world. It's this profound demonstration of his deep understanding, his unity with creation.
Why?
Ultimately, he realizes he needs to speak to the source of it all, the hand that wrote all. He prays not with words, but with his soul. And in that moment of connection, he understands his own soul is part of the soul of God. And because of that connection, he can perform miracles.
And does he turn into the wind?
Well, a huge sandstorm, the Simum, suddenly sweeps through the camp, blotting everything out. When it clears, Santiago is standing on the other side of the camp. He didn't literally become the wind, perhaps, but he commanded it. He fulfilled the prophecy through his connection to the soul of the world. The tribesmen are terrified and let them go.
Incredible. What a climax. A spiritual transformation, really.
Absolutely. So they're free, they continue their journey, they reach a Coptic monastery near the pyramids.
And the alchemist does some actual alchemy.
He does. He demonstrates for Santiago, turning lead into gold using a sliver of the philosopher's stone. He shows him it's possible, but he emphasizes, this was my personal legend, not yours. He gives Santiago a piece of the gold.
A reminder that everyone's path is unique.
Exactly. And he shares another proverb. Everything that happens once can never happen again, but everything that happens twice will surely happen a third time, implying Santiago's tests might not be over. He also tells the story of the Roman centurion whose faith impressed Jesus, highlighting that every person on earth plays a central role in the history of the world, and normally he doesn't know it.
Every person plays a central role, even if they don't realize it. That's a comforting thought, isn't it?
It is. So the alchemist leaves him, and Santiago finally reaches the pyramids.
He must be overwhelmed with emotion.
Totally. He falls to his knees, weeping with gratitude. He sees a scarab beetle, considers it an omen, and starts digging in that spot for his treasure.
But it's not quite the end, is it? There's one last twist.
One final brutal test. As he's digging, he's attacked. Ambushed by refugees or thieves from the tribal wars.
Oh no, not again.
They beat him badly, and they find the piece of gold the alchemist gave him. They demand more. In his pain and despair, Santiago blurts out his story, his dream about the treasure buried near the pyramids.
Now what happens?
The leader of the thieves starts laughing. He mocks Santiago, and then he reveals something astonishing. He says he also had a recurring dream about a treasure buried back in Spain.
No.
Yes. Buried in a ruined church under a big sycamore tree, exactly where Santiago started his journey. The place where Santiago used to sleep with his sheep.
You're kidding. The treasure was back home all along.
All along. It's this incredible, ironic, perfect revelation. Santiago's heart is described as bursting with joy, even amidst the pain. He understands. The journey wasn't about finding treasure at the pyramids. It was about the journey itself.
The journey gave him the wisdom, the courage, the transformation needed to understand where the treasure really was, and maybe to be worthy of it.
Precisely. It's a full circle. The physical treasure was waiting, but he couldn't have accessed it or maybe even recognized its value without undertaking the entire quest.
So Santiago, this shepherd boy, goes all the way back.
All the way back to that little abandoned church in Andalusia where he used to sleep. He followed his personal legend, learned the language of the world, connected with the soul of the world.
Only to find the gold was literally under his feet where he began.
That's the beautiful irony. The true treasure wasn't just the gold, though. It was the wisdom gained, the experiences, the love found, the person he became through the journey. All those challenges, the betrayal, the crystal shop, the desert crossing, Fatima, the alchemist, the tests, they were all necessary steps. They forged him. Exactly. They forged him into someone who could finally claim his true wealth, both material and spiritual.
And as he digs up the chest filled with gold and jewels under the sycamore tree, there's a final touch, isn't there?
Yes. The wind blows the levanter, the wind that blows from Africa towards Spain, and it carries the scent of Fatima's perfume and a kiss.
A promise fulfilled. Love returns. He's truly home. But he's not the same boy who left.
Not at all. He's home, enriched by every single step of that incredible odyssey.
Wow, what a story. Which brings us, I suppose, to a final thought for everyone listening.
Yeah, maybe ask yourself, what might your own personal legend be? That thing you've always wanted to accomplish? And consider this. What treasure might be waiting for you? Maybe not in some far-off land, maybe not even gold. But perhaps it's in the wisdom you gained from your own unique journey through life. Even, or especially, if that journey eventually brings you right back to where you started, but seeing it for the first time.